Hello, I'm Vivan Christman, your host for Spotlight on Education. Each week, we will take time to spotlight a different person who's involved in the educational experience here in Lee County. This morning, we're at Greenwood Elementary, where behind us, you can hear the start of the very special Arts Festival. This is sponsored by the Council for Exceptional Children, and today the theme for this year's program is The World is a Rainbow. I'm joined today by Sheila West, who is the co-chair of the festival. Sheila, thank you for joining us.
Good morning. It's good to be here.
Thank you. And it looks like there's been a lot of work and preparation gone into getting ready for this year's event.
Yes, it's been very exciting. The kids have just practiced to the fullest, and they've enjoyed it so much, and they're on top of the world this morning.
That's great. Well, before we turn and talk about you a little bit, tell me a little bit more about this festival. How many children are here today, and where all do they come from?
There are about 300 children, and they come from all over the county, elementary schools in our county, and then the 2 middle schools.
Okay, so there's no high school students here. It just ends with middle school.
Right, just the middle school and the elementary levels. Also, our separate day school, Floydale Night School, they're involved in this activity also. The children are exceptional children here in Lee County, and they do represent each one of the schools.
Well, that's great. It's fun to be here today. It's nice when we're able to get out on location and shoot one of these things live. I don't know whether our audience at home can hear the noise in the background as these kids are excited to be here and I guess getting all ready for the morning's events. Let's turn for a moment, though, and talk about Sheila and talk about you, your background, and how you happened to get involved in education and then more specifically how you got involved with exceptional children. Tell about your background a little, if you will, please.
Okay, I've always been around children. Growing up, I was the neighborhood babysitter. I enjoyed playing with the kids and doing activities with children. I have plenty of nieces and nephews, and I now have a 4-year-old, and I'm actually expecting another child in September.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. It is early news, so a lot of people don't know yet. So we're real excited about that, my husband and I. And growing up, I enjoyed being with children at school. I loved school. I guess you could say I enjoyed being the teacher's pet.
That is not the experience I had. I did not like school, so it's fun when I meet people that actually enjoyed that experience as a child.
I was a teacher pleaser, and I often looked to some of the other kids that were having difficulty, and I wanted to help them. I wanted to reach out to them, and that was my first early experience with children. As I got older, I became involved with a cousin of mine that has a handicapping condition, and further became interested in especially the area of exceptional children. And then I went on to school. I went to Campbell University and then transferred to East Carolina, and then got my master's degree at Fayetteville State University.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from right here in Sanford, and I've grown up here. My parents raised my whole family here. I have there's 4 of us. I have a brother and 2 sisters.
Well, that must make it even more special to be involved in this kind of a program right at home where you have your roots and background and foundation.
It is special to me. The kids in Lee County are the best, and I enjoy them. I do.
Well, that's terrific. I think anyone that works with you, and one of the reasons that I believe that your principal out at Tramway suggested that we talk with you is that love for those kids that comes out, and it's real clear to see that as I've worked with you in preparation for this program.
Okay. I enjoy working with Mr. Jackson at Tramway Elementary. It is our only year-round school here in Lee County, and I just wanted to mention, it's a great school.
Well, Sheila, let me ask you a couple of questions about your, since you've made the career choice to be involved in education and more specifically with these exceptional children. What kind of goals do you have, or sort of long-range plans or desires of dreams from as an educator to reach and touch these children?
You want to help build a child's future, to help them do the best that they can do to their potential. And that's what we look for, day to day, helping the children do the best they can each day. And if they do make mistakes and fall back, not discouraging them, but letting them know that that happens and you'll do better tomorrow. There's always tomorrow.
Oh, that's a nice theme. One of the things this morning as we were setting up and bringing in the TV equipment, we noticed how friendly these children are. Every one of them we passed on the sidewalk, made an effort to say good morning, and it wasn't just, like something they'd been told to do. I was impressed by how genuine and how outgoing they were. Is that pretty common?
That is common. They enjoy people. As you know, all children enjoy attention, and we want it to be positive attention. So we strive with the kids to help them learn how to gain positive attention. And that's one of the first things that they learn is if they greet somebody and say hello and smile, they typically get it back.
Well, that's interesting. So that is actually one of the things that you folks work to train these kids or to teach these kids or maybe to guide them in that direction.
We do, and a lot of people think that these children, or they call these children needy children. And at times, yes, they are needy, but we're trying to teach them not to be so needy, that they can do the best that they can do, and people will respect them for that. So a big part of it is teaching them self-esteem and how to respect themselves. And then once they see that, others start respecting them back.
So as an educator, how do you work with self-esteem with children like this? That must take a very special gift to be able to help a child like this. What's Sheila West's approach to that?
I think challenge would be a good tip. If you just challenge the kids without frustration, and you have to weigh that, because lots of times you do see the frustration. It creeps up. But that's when you have to realize, okay, it's time to step back and build on the success that they have, and then that way they can further have success. But once they have that frustration, back up and then go forward when they start succeeding again, and push them as much as you can.
Well, that must be one of the things that I noticed that in watching you with your students there at Tramway when we were talking to prepare for this, I noticed the level of attention you were putting on the children was very, very high. A lot of eye contact, a lot of watching very closely, and I guess that's to watch when they begin to show signs of frustration and such.
Yeah, just good supervision. That way you can catch them or help them if they are falling back. Sometimes just walking into the classroom will change their point of view. Oh, I know what Miss West expects from me. That's right. I'm not supposed to do that. I'm supposed to do this so that I can be the best that I can be.
Well, that's terrific. As you work with these kids and think about a program like this, what kind of things could parents or guardians or just interested volunteers in the community do to help with the work you do with exceptional children?
Well, I know that you're a mentor, and that's an excellent program, of course, and also like a volunteer, a buddy type system is great too, if you can be a buddy or a pal, big brother, big sister to a child in need. Also, just parents in general, to support their child. The hardest thing of all is to be a good role model. I found that out when I had my first child. It's interesting what you want to be as a parent, but what actually happens in reality. So I know that that's difficult, but just being that role model in support of education. Show your children that you read. So show your children that you don't know everything, that you're learning every day just like they are.
Okay, terrific. Well, we're going to take a short break right now and want to share a word from our sponsors. Let me first of all mention that Spotlight on Education is brought to you by the Santa Lee Rotary Club. The Santa Lee Rotary Club is the youngest and smallest Rotary Club in Lee County, and as with all Rotary Clubs and Rotary International, our objective is to put service above self. As we look for ways to improve the community that we live in, as a club, we've explored lots of ways to improve our community, and the Santa Lee Rotary Club selected education to be its specific focus. We raise money for various educational related activities, as well as sponsoring the Spotlight on Education. Thank you very much. And for those of you in the community, if you see people who give of their time to make our community better, please take time to stop and say thanks. That's a small thing that each of us can do to reach out and bring our community closer together. Thank you, and we'll be back after this word from our sponsors. Welcome back to Spotlight on Education. I'm Vivan Christman, your host, and today we're at Greenwood Elementary School with a very special experience that's going on here behind us. We're at the very special Arts Festival, and this year their theme is The World is a Rainbow. And this is sponsored by the Council for Exceptional Children. Joining me today is Sheila West, who is a teacher of these exceptional children. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And in a few moments, we're going to be joined by a young man who is one of the students, Logan Jackson. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Well, welcome to our program today.
Thanks.
Are you excited about being here today?
Yes.
Good. Where do you go to school, Logan?
Tramway Elementary.
Do you like going to school there?
Kind of.
That's the way I always felt about school, just kind of. That's a good, honest answer. I understand that Miss West is your teacher.
Yes.
So you're just new into that school, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, tell me, what's your favorite part of school?
Math.
Math. Wow. I didn't like math when I was your age. What is it about math that you like so much?
I mean, I just like it. Just don't know.
It just makes sense to you.
Yeah. Yes.
Comes easy for him. Yeah, but math comes easy for him.
Wow, that's neat. It's fun to find those things that we're naturally good at, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, good. What are you going to do? Do you have a part on the program today?
I'm gonna be in the Dragon Head.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. Are you guys gonna sing a song, or what are you going to do?
After we finish the dragon, we're gonna lay it down. Then we're gonna sing the last song, I think.
Oh, that sounds fun. Have you been practicing this for a while?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Good with signs. We're doing some of the signs and some hand motions to the songs, and he's a real good leader for some of the other kids for that particular song.
Well, that's fantastic. Do you enjoy helping the other kids as well?
Yes.
Well, that's good. Well, we want to thank you for joining us here today, and we'll look forward in a few minutes to seeing you on stage. So thank you very much.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. Well, Sheila, he looks like a very, very wonderful child. I bet he's fun to have in class.
He is. He's a sweet child.
Well, that's good. And just a few minutes, and I guess you guys are on stage.
Yes, we're getting a little excited.
Well, Sheila, before we leave, and to let the audience know, in a few moments we'll be taking our last break, and then the rest of the segment today will be filmed showing the kids on stage and performing in their various, performances that they've spent a lot of time preparing for.
Right, they have. They've worked real hard.
Okay, I'd like to, you've been involved in teaching these special kids for some time, and I wonder, in the time that you've spent doing that, you must have some stories of success stories of kids where you feel that all the work and energy that you've put in has made a difference in some child's life, where perhaps you've seen them, really change or respond to something you've done. And I wondered if you'd care to share any stories like that about any of these kids.
Well, I've been teaching for 13 years, and all 13 have been in an exceptional children's program. Each day brings a new adventure. I guess the biggest success you have is built on the experiences you've had the year before or 5 years before that with another child. That child will help you with the next child to know what works, to help you know what not to do and what to do. So experience, I think, is the biggest part of being successful with children and helping them be successful. There is one child in particular at Tramway now. He was at Ingram, at our school, at Ingram when I taught there also. I didn't teach him at that particular time, but he was very interesting to watch. He had a hard time at school, and when he came to Tramway this year, you could tell he had really held on to what he had learned from Ingram. He transferred over to the new school very well, but then he had his ups and downs at Tramway too. He's really hanging in there right now. And he's here today, and he has been so excited all morning. He sang karaoke this morning on the stage, and I had to take a picture of that, and I was beaming all over. When you came in, I was about to burst because of that one child singing karaoke. When you see him at school having such a hard time, to know that how special this is for him today.
Well, your love for these kids has got to make such an incredible difference. I think more than anything else, the teachers that I remember from my growing up years weren't the ones, I'm sure, that had the best degrees or any of that. I don't have any idea. I didn't care. But it was the ones that had the ability to reach out and and touch and make a difference. And it's clear that you have that love for these kids. And I think, that's part of what makes the educational experience in Lee County so wonderful, is because of folks like you and your dedication and your love for what you do. It's really unique.
Well, thank you for showing your appreciation, for the teachers in our county and for the children.
Well, it's really my pleasure. It's a wonderful experience to get to know people and see the difference that's being made. Education isn't just about statistics, and we hear so much about that now on the radio and television, and I think the important thing to remember is that we're lucky in this county. We have real people out here making a real difference. Well, we're getting ready to go to a break now, and for those of you watching today, we hope you're enjoying this. We'll break now for a word from our sponsors, and then when we come back up, we'll be looking at the program that's going on and watching these very exceptional kids as they go about sharing with each other and with those who are here in the audience today programs that they've spent a lot of time working on. So thank you very much. Hello, I'm Vivan Christman, your host for Spotlight on Education. We're today at the Council for Exceptional Children's program, The World is a Rainbow, and we're getting ready to see a performance by the Tramway Elementary School Exceptional Children. We'd like to thank everyone today for joining us as we've watched this very special program of the exceptional children. We're at Greenwood Elementary today, where they're celebrating a festival of the arts for these children. They've all prepared. You've had an opportunity today to see part of it. Thank you. Join us Thursdays at 7:30 and other times during the week. Thank you very much.